Alright guys, I've got the COMNOVA 3 self-driving unit. It's working right now. It's over there. I just installed it a few days ago. The first time, well, not really the first time, but it's been a couple of days since I've owned it. And this is my longest long-term distance that I'm going to start on with this COMNOVA 3X. So this is the latest generation. I just bought it. It was $1,250. Before this, I had the COMNOVA 2, and it was still working, but you know, it was starting to have some glitches here and there, some malfunctions going on. Right now, the car is self-driving. I'm going to help it out. It says the turn was more than it could handle. So my finger's on it right now. I'm going to let go of it in a little bit after this turn, and it keeps saying take control. So right now it's good. You always need to make sure you're mindful of this of this type of technology. It's definitely better than the OEM version that comes with the vehicle. So the COMNOVA definitely is worth it for long drives. If you don't do long drives, then it's not worth it. Now, you know, I drive 40,000 miles a year, so that's a lot of miles for me. And I do a lot of it in my Honda Ridgeline. This is a 2023 Ridgeline. I've got 30,000 miles already, and I bought this vehicle, let's see, like 9 months ago. So 9 months ago, and here I am at 30,000 miles, okay? And, you know, there's it's bright right now, like the sun is just starting to set. It's 8 p.m. and the sun is shining, and it's still performing really well. It does well at nighttime too. No issues with that. It does pretty good in the rain as well. Is there a difference between the COMNOVA 2 and the COMNOVA 3X? Subtle. There are some subtle differences. The 2 did really well as well. I didn't have too many complaints about it. The difference is you get to set your distance. Okay, so on the COMNOVA 2, it was just, you know, the vehicle distance was always the same. I'm gonna go ahead and get in the right lane here because there's construction going on. But this has been a good addition to the vehicle. It definitely keeps it safe. Yeah, there's just a lot of construction here, so you gotta always be mindful at all times. Right around 8 o'clock is when they start putting out these cones. We're gonna go back in the left lane here. It's been a good addition, and I'll explain the additions here. I put it on. I'm setting it on cruise control. It's driving itself right now. Yes. So the pacing, the distance, you can set that. So that's helpful. To be able to do that there, to set the pacing distance. I like that part. It's taking a pretty good turn right now. I mean, there's some curves here. So the other thing is that when you're in the far right lane, it likes to hug the lane to the right, so it's not quite centered. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that feature. Honestly, I kind of like it when it just stays centered. Right now it's staying centered pretty good. If you look at the lines there on the left side, and I'm not driving there, so, and there on the right side, it stays pretty centered when you're not in the far right lane. So when you're in the far right lane, it just hugs to the right, and you know, I don't know, I just rather have it to be centered, to be honest. So far, those were the 2 main ones that I've noticed, the big ones. The other one is it probably looks at your eyes better where the camera's positioned on here, because the camera's positioned on the bottom. With the other one, it never saw my eyes because it's always trying to check for driver monitoring, and that was always an issue with the second one because it was a little bit higher and it kind of blocked the cameras, the infrared cameras looking at your eyes. So here's a pretty decent turn. It's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, you know, it's doing a pretty good job. So I upgraded it. It's definitely got a better fan, a cooling fan. I think the Comma 2s tend to overheat, especially if you're living in the south or somewhere hot, or if you're parked in the sun. Yeah, so that's a complaint about the Comma 2. And generally, to extend the life of the Comma 2, what I would do all the time is I would just, my hand's right here, I would just unplug it a lot because it was just so hot. It was getting too hot for it to handle. We'll see how the Comma 3 does. If it gets really hot, I try to park in the shade. You know, I mean, I'll take it down if I have to. I don't live in the southern states, so it's not too crazy hot. When you're driving by trucks, always keep your hands on the steering wheels just in case. But yeah, it's like, there's the sun, you know, shoot, it's super bright, like right at you. So far the Comma's still working pretty good. And that's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see it, it's so bright right now with the sun shining. So this is a really steep one. I'm gonna help it out a little bit, just a little bit. We'll see if it maintains. Yep, there it is. It's beeping at me. It says, take control, steering wheel, you know, curves too much. This is a pretty steep corner, to be honest. So it's going to ask me for input, which, yeah, you always need to stay awake, man. Don't freaking leave your life in your hands in these things without attention. Yeah, man, it's good. Okay, so this is just kind of a sample of what it's like, and oh, let's get in the left lane. So I'm gonna go left, give it a nudge, and then it just gets in the left lane itself. So that part's kind of cool. And it says up here, it says changing lanes. I just missed it, but it does kind of the lanes change automatically for you. You just want to make sure it's definitely clear when you're doing all that. What else? Otherwise, you know, if the Comma 2, I mean, it's still working. It's kind of my backup, so at least I have the Comma 2 for backup. So if the 3 ever fails, I've got the 2. And honestly, the Comma 2 lasted, yeah, so my Comma 2 lasted for like 5 years, which was quite a long time. And I got my use out of it. I got my money out of it, you know, so it was worth it for me. I drove like almost, I drove about at least 150,000 miles or more with my Comma 2. But yeah, so we'll see how long this one goes. It just flickered and said it couldn't see my face, so it wants you to touch the steering wheel if that was the case. But then I moved my face back in the camera view. Yeah, you know, like, I like it. It's working great. No problems right now. And, you know, it's good for the long drives. Drives pretty straight. Right now it's staying pretty centered. So in the left lane, it does stay pretty centered, you know. It's just the right lane where it likes to hug to the right. It's kind of annoying. But maybe I'll get used to it. I don't know, doubt it. So I'll probably just end up driving a little more of the left lanes instead of the right lanes so that it stays more centered. It just seems to be programmed that way. I haven't tried any other types of software other than just the standard software that Comma gives out. So it's working pretty good, fellas. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's see. It's, you know, it's been working pretty good. I did have some problems when I first installed it. I took the Comma 2 out, and then I put in the Comma 3, and then I downloaded all the software. And then when I tried to use it, it just lit up all the lights on my dashboard. I'll have another video on that one, but essentially all you honestly have to do is download all the software, get it going, power it on and off, reboot it, and then what you got to do is you got to put it back to original settings. So you just got to take all the wires up there, put it back into the original default before you had the comma 2 or 3, and it reset itself, and then when then it became a plug and play. So it was working well after that, and it became a plug and play. All the lights stayed off after I did that, and that was kind of annoying. Kind of scared me for a second. I was like, shit, you know, do I need to return it? Does it not gonna work for my vehicle? But you know, they keep saying it's supposed to work for a 2023 Honda Ridgeline, so it did work. I just had to mess with the wires at the top and put it back to the original factory settings, start up the vehicle, let it clear itself out, and then I changed the wires back again and installed the comma 3X. So anyways, there it is. Just wanted you guys to take a look at it and take a look and see how it self drives. And I'm gonna go out here, so don't forget the